So I got to ask Senator Mike Lee a question about the Senate's recess that they took in the middle of DHS funding battles and not passing the Save America Act. It's rather technical, but I'll be flashing on screen the things that I'm quoting and citing, so you can look those up. There'll also be links in the description below. This will pick up right in the middle of a Twitter space that was hosted by the Honorable Senator and co-hosted by the Redheaded Libertarian. I'm not going to post the rest of the space. I'm only going to be posting the question and conversation I had briefly with Senator Lee. And so I hope you guys enjoy that. Also, I will say that the color is terrible, and I apologize for that, but I wasn't aware he was going to do the space. So I just turned it on real quick, just turned on my camera and microphone and just was sitting there filming. Didn't really have time to adjust anything because I didn't know when I'd be getting in to ask my question. So I apologize for the colors being off. And if the audio is weird, I also apologize for that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. And if you have any more questions about this, be sure to join us live streaming tonight, live Saturday, March 28th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be live on YouTube talking about Senate DHS battle with the House, the House's responses to that Save America Act and all of that stuff. So if you have any questions about the technicalities or anything happening in this, be sure to join us live tonight and ask them. Thank you so much.
So let's start with Thursday.
Hello.
You're muted.
Hi, Senator Lee. Forgive me, I wrote this down so I can make sure I phrase it correctly, but you've stated, on Fox this morning and here that you object to the recess. I'm wondering if, and you mentioned the pro forma session can be disrupted by a single Democrat. So I'm wondering if you, pursuant to Senate Rule 4(1)A and Rule 4, Sections 3 or Rule 6, Sections 3 and 4, will be forcing the Senate to come back into session, and if not, why?
Okay, let's pretend one of us doesn't know what you're referring to. I don't have the rules in front of me.
Okay.
Tell me by what mechanism I could force them back in.
Rule 1 says that you need a quorum to be present, and Rule 6 says that at any time any senator can request a quorum to be taken, and if one is not present, the Sergeant at Arms can call the Senate back into session.
Yes, those tools in both of those rules that you mentioned are available to us. To be clear, those are not for purposes of ending a recess, nor can they be used for that purpose. Those are for purposes of establishing a quorum on the floor when the Senate is in session, which it currently is not.
But it is claiming to be in session with a 3-day adjournment, right? Because the Constitution says that for a formal recess, permission of the House is needed?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I think I see where you're going now. So you're saying a senator could go to the floor during a pro forma session.
Yeah, during a pro forma session, request a quorum.
Recognition.
Yeah.
And then note the absence of maybe before noting the absence. Yeah.
The exact quote from Rule 6, Section 3 is, if at any time during the daily sessions of the Senate a question shall be raised by any senator as to the presence of a quorum, the presiding officer shall forthwith direct the secretary to call the roll and shall announce the result, and these proceedings shall be without debate. It continues, Section 4, whenever upon such roll call it shall be ascertained that a quorum is not present, a majority of the senators present may direct the Sergeant at Arms to request and, when necessary, to compel the attendance of absent senators, which order shall be determined without debate and pending its execution, and until a quorum shall be present, no debate nor motion except adjournment or to recess pursuant to a previous order entered by unanimous consent shall be in order.
Yeah. All right, this is interesting. To my knowledge, I'm not aware of it. I'd be surprised if it ever has been used this way, but I don't think it's ever been used to bring senators back from a recess during a pro forma session. Pro forma sessions have become a lot more of a thing over the last 13 years since the Noel Cannon case was decided 13, 14 years ago.
Yes.
It's an interesting thought. I suppose in theory it could work. There are some challenges to it. If it is anyone other than the majority leader trying to compel members to come back, and anything other than the majority leader saying we are going to be open for debate, we will be having votes cast and things like that, my guess is that most members would not regard that as a legitimate Paul to return.
But it's not
From
it's not
recess.
the senator calling, it's the sergeant at arms calling is what the rule says.
That's right. That's right. But still, my point is not that it's about the senator calling it. It's that in order for them to come back, that there are a whole bunch of other rules and a whole bunch of Senate procedure turns on what we refer to as the right of first recognition. The one thing that differentiates the every other member in the Senate from the Senate Majority Leader is this longstanding notion that he has the right of first recognition. When multiple people are seeking recognition, he has the right to seek it. There are a whole bunch of other procedural developments within the Senate that turn on that very issue that have to do with the right of first recognition. So it'd be an interesting experiment. It'd be a fun way to make everybody mad. I don't think you would end up having almost any senators return, though, unless the Senate Majority Leader were on board with it and were saying, yes, I'm part of this. We need everybody to come back. We will be having debates and votes this week.
So I guess my question then is, why does the Constitution say you can only be adjourned for 3 days if, like, it seems unconstitutional then that it can't be, the pro forma session can't be disrupted?
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be disrupted. That is not my point. My point is, if you want it to actually work, you would need to get the Majority Leader on board. Now, I don't actually believe that if I've not heard this from Leader Thune. I want to be very careful to be clear that I am not speaking for him. But I nonetheless find it difficult to imagine that in the event that the House passed continuing resolution funding the Department of Homeland Security, if that draws an objection and does not pass by unanimous consent on Monday during the pro forma session, I strongly I'll be kind of surprised if Thune doesn't call back into session.
Okay. Thank you so much, Senator.
Hey, thank you.
Yep.
So the Senate acts under the presumption of quorum unless somebody specifically raises the point of no quorum, and pro forma is different than that. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. So the pro forma session relies on that. Relies on the presumptive quorum, because in a pro forma, usually all you've got is just a presiding officer who comes in, sits at the desk, and gavels in and gavels out very briefly. If there is any business that has to be conducted by unanimous consent, then there will be somebody else in the chamber, perhaps the Majority Leader or somebody else that he is asked to undertake that task. And they can, in addition to gaveling in and gaveling out, they can do a brief unanimous consent request. And there again, and if there's nobody there noting the absence of a quorum, then the quorum is presumed.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you.